Welcome everybody to the CCA action here. It's week 5, I'm pretty sure, as we're about to get ourselves the first of 4 games tonight. This should be a lot of fun. My name is Kyon. On the mic with me is Hydro. First of all, before we begin, Hydro, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm doing all right, Kyon. How are you feeling?
Oh, it's another Sunday, another week of CCA. Always excited for that one. We have a fun Division 3 matchup for everybody who's tuning in. EaUCD Splatoon White versus Egg Spaghetti. One thing's for certain, Hydro here, both teams actually undefeated, have yet to drop a set. So, as per usual, whomever loses will get their first set loss of the season. I'd imagine both teams are going to be fired up to stay undefeated.
Yeah, it's going to be a very intense match today, and both teams may be looking to, fight it out and play to their strengths and to their keys of victory. EaUCD Splatoon White keys to victory being spotting any exploits, any holes in the other team's vision, and being active in forcing key parts of the map, and also efficiently converting advantages to objective scoring. Kyon, what about Egg Spaghetti here?
Yeah, Egg Spaghetti's their keys to victory, of course, communicating effectively with the callouts, ride the reef slider to victory, which could be very debatable in most occasions, and of course, eat happy and healthy. That's actually a very underrated key to victory, by the way, for those tuning in. Please actually stay healthy and always eat well, because happiness will show no bounds. But that being said, stat-wise, we got some common weapons here from Splatoon, from EaUCD Splatoon White and Egg Spaghetti. NZAP, Range Blaster, and Slosh Machine on Splatoon White side. Other side has Sniper, Range Blaster, Octobrush, and Dualies. Egg Spaghetti, at least for a lot of teams, not as conventional as you can get. Splatoon White, they got a few varieties. I think this is gonna be one of those cases where, depending on how both teams execute, of course, especially with their most common weapons, we could be seeing a tale of two teams basically here, Hydro.
Yeah, it could be kind of intense on the battlefield here, and some weapons here that I'm kind of noticing right now is that both teams do have a cooler option, but they're opting for different ones. Common weapons for Splatoon White having being an NZAP, Range, and Machine, but Egg Spaghetti choosing for their cooler option to be a Snipe Rider, and while they do have similar front lines, it is going to be an interesting match today.
And I can only imagine if Egg Spaghetti wants to double down on the Reef Slider strategy, for sure. I can only imagine this can go many different ways. For the most part, and you mentioned it too, with cool options being different. You got the Zap and the Sniper being the main difference here. I'm gonna be excited to see how both teams kind of use it, because it fills in basically what I always call one of the slots, or one of the different weapon types in each composition. We're gonna kick things off here in this week with Mahi Zones being our first map. Not your typical Zones map, but honestly, probably one of the better Mahi map modes.
Yeah, Mahi Zone's gonna be definitely one of the better layouts for this, and we're going straight into it. Kyon, what are we expecting here?
Well, what we should be expecting, of course, a Division 3 with this Division 3 showdown. I'd imagine you're going to be seeing coolers here. If Egg Spaghetti, again, doubles down with their strategy of Reef Slider, I can only imagine that playing out so well. As let's take a look at the teams here. Brother, Egg Spaghetti is on your blue color side, orange color side. Apparently, my phone's going off as well. Is EaUCD Splatoon White. We take a look at the weapons here. Snipe Rider duels for the most part. So not quite the NZAP, but we do have dueling Snipe Riders, so coolers are guaranteed.
In fact, actually, I think their comps are quite dittoed, except for the Octobrush and Machine. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play into each other's strengths. However, two go down on the side of Egg Spaghetti, but they do manage to get the zone. Trades are just happening over here, and you see White finding some sort of opening and managing to stabilize their position here, Kyon.
Yeah, positioning is gonna be very key with this group here. You also got the drinks being dished out, but both teams are kind of stuck into this neutral state. You mentioned it earlier too. Very similar weapons, with Snipers and Range Blaster being the main difference. No time has been wasted right out of the gate there, as UCD's Splatoon White gets that wipeout. They're gonna be able to assert their position. I'm gonna be curious to see how. Actually, you mentioned it too. The difference is the Slosh Machine and the Octobrush. The duos are effectively the same at this point, so you're gonna be guaranteed crab tanks. This is actually almost a mirror match, it feels like, too. But I want to see how if the Slosh Machine, the Octobrush, of course, how it fits differently, especially in this three mirror comp. UCD Wife gets it down to 61 for me. They get the water level to drop.
Water level dropped, and more area is available. However, the relentless pressure from UC Davis is not not ending. And however, as soon as I say that, Egg Spaghetti just finding an opening, and once it, oh my gosh, it keeps going back and forth. Kellen, what is happening?
There's a lot of things happening here. First of all, Night Bloom has already taken out 2. That alone helps out a lot for UCD White to get zone control back. Because by the time all that occurs, you also want to win on some of those fights and win a lot of that positioning. I want to see how specials get used. Speaking of specials, Raven already using that Ultra Rush. The Zip Caster is shut down, stuck in a bad passageway to say the least. They do neutralize the zone there from Egg Spaghetti's side, but UCD White was able to retain it, so they're just taking down on these penalty points. I can only imagine so far they got the Crab Tank, which they're just about to pop them out to Cali for Egg Spaghetti. See if they can find a way to paint over the zone. But 27 points remaining, and UCD White they lose the zone for sure. Egg Spaghetti's the one in control now.
Egg Spaghetti managing to get some semblance of control now, and maybe this could be what they need to snowball. They have a Zipcaster available, but not quite the map positioning to make use of it. Does go down with the Zipcaster, and Booyah Bomb is popped on the side of EaUCD White, and back to control of the UC Davis here.
Yeah, UC Davis is doing a really good job, able to lob shots, and also win out some key positioning here. As Pamperitos, wow, that's a double there. That's really nice. That's a Sniper and the Range Blaster. They went out that duel on that one, and they're able to pop that Wave Breaker with the Auto Brush going down. Bad time to start losing one by one on some of these members there because the stacks are gonna become evident. They did lose 2 of their own, though. Egg Spaghetti is going to have to try to rush in. They're going to need to paint over the zone very quickly here. As they do neutralize it, there you go. You flip the zone. You get control of it back, but you got to sustain it for quite some time. Taking out the Slush Machine, the Cyber, and the Range Blasters all going to help. 3-down situation for UCD White. Egg Spaghetti back in control again. It
took a bit of time, but Egg Spaghetti managing to find some control of mid now, and now trying to find positioning into the enemy base here. Crab being popped onto Night Bloom, however, doesn't quite exactly find a pick. Night Bloom moving forward, and is being stopped by this Crab Tank. Raven gets the trade, and now we're kind of just back into this neutral. However, it is an advantage of Egg Spaghetti. The timer is moving down, and Floppy just trying to find a pick here, but doesn't quite find one just yet, Keon.
Yeah, but the big thing you want to do is have all your members alive. There is a cooler that I just saw getting popped there for Egg Spaghetti, but it's not enough to retain the control of the zone. That's a much needed zone split to put them in the penalty points. But UCD White invested so much to get zone back. They lose everybody there. Not able to get the pick to Wishy-Washy there on the Sniper Rider there, so they're still able to keep control of that left-hand side. The dualies are going to go down on top of things with 2 down on Egg Spaghetti's end. Egg Spaghetti may not have enough defense left. They gotta stay alive as much as they can here. UCD White still fighting strong. Booyah Bomb and Crab Tank being used, but the important thing right now is just to get the zone back, and they lose, and neutral stuck in Egg Spaghetti's favor. Rather, the zone, that is. 30 seconds left here, Hydro. This could be a very close finish.
30 seconds left. However, Egg Spaghetti is fighting for control here and managing to go for a 2-2 situation. Wishy-Washy just stalling it out and maybe seeing what they can do here. However, I think the lead does switch over, and this could be Egg Spaghetti's chance to close it out. Zipcaster has popped on Raven, and UCD White managing to find it stabilized. However, it might be super close. Crab is being popped, and maybe is fighting for the contestant of the zone. Both teams are just fighting it out here. It goes to Egg Spaghetti here for game 1, Keon.
You know what the crazy thing about that, despite Crab Tank and all the ink that was thrown right into the zone wasn't enough for neutral. Heavy credit to Egg Spaghetti, by the way. I'd imagine one of their keys to is just being able to communicate effectively. Well, they had to focus on defending the zone first. And if at any point you lose anybody within that zone, that was a guaranteed zone split coming out of UCD White here. We're going to be seeing the replay of basically the last 22 seconds here, Hydra. As you called out, the lead has been indeed change, but pay attention to how Egg Spaghetti defended the zone with all of their might at this point. Yes, it stayed in neutral. It didn't really matter if the time ran out on them. They just had to defend as much as they did. They take out 2, and again, 9 seconds left. Just masterful play, and huge credit to Flopsy to just force ink into the zone. Anywho,
it shows the incredible strength of Egg Spaghetti to just play objective here and find prioritize objective and making sure that they're not getting greedy here and finding just random picks that, may not even end up winning them the game, but focusing on that zone to make sure that they continue contesting and making sure that UC Davis doesn't get that zone flip that they desperately needed. However, I think it was actually a really close game. It was such a back and forth thing where, either team could have gotten the win there, Keon.
It kind of reminds me of a set that I covered for CCA. I think this last week there, I believe a Division 4 match where it was just so brawly back and forth we go, and it extended out to a very long set. I hope we get to see the same thing here because you're right. Both teams are basically evenly matched throughout there. Again, good job in Expedited with the communication. They didn't even need to read slider. They don't even worry. Didn't even need to dish that at all. Splatoon, I think they had something good. They just need to focus on retaining control as much as they can. On one of their keys victory, enforcing hold over key parts of the map. Now we got to see how they adjust. 8-block tower control comes out with the Luna Blaster and the Tri-Stringer on the other. Okay, what am I looking at here?
Quite an interesting spread of weapons. We do have a Tri-Stringer on the side on Flopsy going for it. I do see one cooler actually. Well, the cooler goes down on the side of EaUCD White, and okay, we're already going straight into it. Floppy just already getting a pick here and fighting on this right stack. However, does get traded out. And Spaghetti getting the initial lead here. Zipcaster being popped and forcing this dually back. Night Bloom gets the trade and does get traded out with the whale here, Count.
Yeah, Egg Spaghetti in this case actually went on a lot of their fights. The big thing I wanted to note though is that their change was just the Gluga variants there with the Trizuka and the Tri-Stringer, effectively just a vanilla Tri-Stringer anyway. But look at how much control they already have deep into UCD White's base already. They're taking this tower all the way home to the third checkpoint, and UCD White still losing members left and right. They might be able to retain zone here. X7 and Raven, the ones right out the tower. That's a much needed pick there from Foppy there, and Foppy actually goes down. X7 is still in the tower. The fact that they stayed alive is enough for this tower to even make it to the third checkpoint. The only question is if they can clear it, and this might be a very furious hole from UCD White. They should be able to clean this one out. 11 points remaining is really good.
This is a very snowbally map, and getting 11 points is no easy feat. X-Spaghetti definitely getting a good lead here, but isn't quite a knockout, so UCD White definitely still have a chance here, with especially 2 specials on the ready, and Tactical Cooler popped. Let's see what they can do and getting some space back mid, and maybe see if we can find a counter push of their own.
Yeah, now the big question here is the counter push, because UCD White went with a total comp change of coming into this one. Basically, no weapons from the previous game. Just forget any of that. The concept is at least Foppy on the Zipcaster, but it's on the Luna Blaster, which is a very odd choice there. Jim gets picked onto Optical to get things going, but with UCD White, I can only imagine with that backline being the Zeko Firefin charger there, where the trip strikes are going to get used. They take out 3 members, by the way, from Egg Spaghetti's end already, so this should be the push at least happening for UCD White. They have to focus on the cooler and the trip strikes, see how they get utilized along with the trip splashdown. First checkpoint should be clearing up here for UCD White.
UCD White definitely clearing the first checkpoint, and okay, Zipcaster gets popped here. This Luna Blaster could put some work in. Bobby finding a pick and getting control of these bats, challenging this another range blaster, and maybe X7 does go down and gets traded again. However, this isn't over yet. Bobby doesn't getting control over this Luna Blaster. This Luna Blaster putting in work. Night Bloom just going for a splashdown here, finding some picks here, and does get the trade out here. So UCD White is trying to continue this push and stops it at 11 or 21. Sorry, and technically, is he still going? Oh, maybe it just ended there with only the Amperi's up. Night Bloom trying to sell for time, maybe actually managing to get the teammates back in. However, it's gonna be a close battle here, Keon.
Yeah, this is actually very close, and the cooler placement, the fact that they got picked up, should be able to force some of those quick responses that they did go down, so they could afford to play as aggressively as they could. This tower is going to be resetting, though. That was a much-needed hole for their Egg Spaghetti, because if we go back from that first map where it was snowballing left and right, as X7 with a beautiful pick there onto Poppy once more, getting that one down. But the Wave Breaker, with that Wave Breaker being used to zone out everybody, it's almost a pendulum swinging back and forth. It's really going to matter which side does it stay on at this point, because both teams are winning out some crazy fights that have been so momentum changing, to say the least. This tower is still in UCD White's favor. I want to see if Bobby can still get value out of the Zipcaster, as the NZAP has gone down the process.
Ends up going down, but does get traded out by the Luna Blaster. This Luna Blaster is putting so much work. Bobby finding another pick. However, the teammates are following up on the side of UCD White, and this is, despite having this tower going back to neutral, I think for the past few seconds, I think UCD White has been having this map control. They've been quite controlling this pet. plat here. Jim managing to get the cooler out. Nightbloom trying to get picking up getting a kill right here. Doesn't get quite the trade on Octocali, and tower does go back to neutral. Raven diving in here and getting a trade on Jim. Keon.
So for Egg Spaghetti right now, that was a much needed defensive hold. In about 35 seconds left, you have the lead already, and this tower is just gonna stay there. This is where UCDY needs to drive it all the way home to the end. So all you really do is just play smart, play defensively. Here, don't try to overreach as much as you can. Find any members you can find. They're keeping a lot of the specials in their favor there, and they're using it to good succession. 2 members that have gone down on UCDY. Now they have to respawn. Use it with the trip strikes. That the cycle Firefin Charger has gone down on top of it. 10 seconds left. Looking good right now for you. Looking good right now for Egg Spaghetti. They might be able to try to take this one home.
Egg Spaghetti definitely trying to hold this as much as they can. However, Octocali just going for the tower, and that will close the game as none of UCD could manage to get on the tower. Keon, that was, I think, a really good game. You know, it seemed really snowbally on one side, but, you know, UCD White also just managing to snowball it close in their favor. And it was, what, maybe not even a 10-point difference? Like,
it was, I think, yeah, it was like a 7-point difference there, Hydro 2. And that's what I was wondering is that as you mentioned, both teams kind of were able to snowball their advantages one way or the other. And again, just trying to keep that tower in their possession, which allowed the jumps to come in. Both teams were playing very aggressive throughout their respective pushes there. We do get to see the last 15 seconds where Egg Spaghetti has effectively reclaimed a lot of control around mid, and with the staggers win for UCDY, it was pretty much GG well played at that point. But going back, you mentioned before the snowball on both teams. It really just boiled down to is how much of that snowball was gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. I think it mattered a lot. Egg Spaghetti's defense held when they needed to, and UCD White almost with perfect placement of the cooler in every other weapons that they were positioning themselves with, they almost were set up to get the lead back. But unfortunately, everything kind of held off on them in the final hour, and we got to see Egg Spaghetti up 2-0.
Egg Spaghetti up 2-0. However, that, you know, as we're seeing these games, I don't think any of the team are out, you know? No. With Egg Spaghetti just in the lead, it does buy them some breathing room, and, you know, Splatoon White definitely not out of it yet. I did like that Luna Blaster, however. That was such an interesting pick. With the Zipcaster, you know, essentially buying time, and, you know, it is Luna's favorite modes, being tower control here. So, do you think we might see any more, like, quote-unquote, strange picks on the side of, I think it was, UCD White. Yeah, UCD White here.
I wouldn't be surprised if UCD White actually tries to play weapons that just fits well to the overall map layout, like Surgeon Rainmaker coming up here. Don't be surprised if we do get to see the Blaster come out. Range Blaster wouldn't be a bad choice, even though it's Rainmaker. You may not get too much value out of the Wavebreaker whatsoever. That wouldn't be shocking at all. Egg Spaghetti, their constant has always been that range blaster. There's another weapon that I'm blinking on. Yep, there it is. There's that range blaster.
Paparino's on the range blaster
from UCD White. It's gonna be dueling range blasters. It's actually the same weapon comp coming out of Egg Spaghetti. The big change from UCD White, though, Slosh Machine's back, and that is a regular scope for the ink back. This one's a little questionable. I'll get to that here in just a bit. But both teams are moving in up mid.
Yeah, both teams. So, Egg Spaghetti have decided to keep a similar comp. However, UCD White, again with the comp changes, and it's very interesting. We've got 2 AoE weapons, however, maybe work in their favor here. However, Floppy is being pushed back to their snipe, and X7 just sharking around, seeing if they can find some kind of pick here, and maybe accelerate the lead of Egg Spaghetti here.
Yeah, one thing I want to harken back to with UCD White's change is just that regular scope there. The special is the ink vac, which this may not be necessarily the strongest map to use the ink vac, given where the checkpoints are located there. So if you're going to be using that, I'd imagine these will be more defensive ink vacs, or just trying to protect mid as much as possible for the side of UCD White. Using that weapon there. Slosh Machine, by the way, is available, but it is going to be 3 down from Egg Spaghettis, and nobody really able to touch this Rainmaker quite yet, as this has been a great hold for both these teams. I don't think I've seen the Rainmaker get picked up whatsoever. Octocali has been spotted, able to escape with their lives. This should hopefully, and I mean hopefully, be the Rainmaker picked up there, but the bomb may have been deterring enough. Both teams are just waiting for the advantage to kick in. Raven sneaks around the ink back, and that will be X7 picking up the Rainmaker. Egg Spaghetti is getting points.
Egg Spaghetti finally finding an opening here, and does get picked out, so not quite a big a lead. 79 is not that huge of a lead here, so UCD White definitely has some room to work with. However, the map control is very blue-sided here, and I don't know if UCD White can find a pick here. However, does find a pick on Flopsy, and they're UCD White slowly working their way back mid, getting some map control, finding some picks here, letting XBeta use their specials, wasting resources, and making sure that UCD White has some form of counter push here, Kyon.
Yeah, and I want to see how UCD was able to coordinate a lot of the specials they had. They had 3 specials that were on the ready. The Booyah Bomb and the Wave Breaker has been used, and there is an Ink Pad that is around. Again, I'm going to imagine this is going to be a slightly... this Ink Pad is going to be used on this left-hand side to get the left checkpoint. I'd imagine they're going to try to wait for control first before they try to pick up this Rainmaker. Try to avoid that Rainmaker dropping at any point. As you do see Bobby there with the Slosh Machine. As they had to outrange X7, that's actually going to be a trade. It's still not a bad trade, nevertheless. They did lose some semblance of map control around that side. This Rainmaker was just immediately picked up only to get dropped anywho. So again, both teams stuck into this neutral position. This could be a case where one big fight is gonna be the checkpoint. The question is too. 79 points remaining, by the way. XBeta able to get up to this left checkpoint. Not able to get the checkpoint just yet.
Getting that checkpoint stalled right there was actually really good for UCD White, as it buys them even more time to find map control here. And both teams are actually, I would actually argue, are playing quite slow here. Trying to find an opening, and finding 2 down on both sides is not an easy feat. They're going for trades a whole lot of the time. Maybe this Booyah Bomb can find some map control here and find a pick for either team, actually, honestly. The trades going down, but 2 go down on the side of Xspaghetti, and White are trying to make advantage of that. 3 go down, and it's just Flopsy alive to hold down the ground.
Yeah, Flopsy was just there to help provide jumps for the rest of Xspaghetti there, and they sight one person to the left-hand side. I think they may have been trying to find a sneaky push there at that point in time, but they were able to shut them out just like that. Usually, White, again, they're still playing this one very methodically here. I'm not sure, but they can't play too methodically for too long. With 1:23 left to go, the more this timer starts ticking down, it's going to heavily favor Xspaghetti there with the points. It's 2 down, by the way, and Poppy's the one that's holding this holding the Rainmaker, so there will be no Booyah Bomb that they can use. But so far, 2 down, they may be able to keep this one going for just a tad bit more. But with all the members going down left and right, they're just gonna have to hold this one off as Octocali just shuts this push Rainmaker hold there down. No, not really a whole lot of points on the board. 58 seconds left. Still looking good for XSpaghetti, but still plenty of time for UCD White.
Plenty of time, and it's the checkpoint hasn't even been broken on either side yet, so it's definitely anyone's game still. However, X7 definitely being marked, however, and is being pushed off of mid. And we're back to the Rainmaker reset, and Raven going for the dive here, and definitely gets a floppy here. Xspaghetti definitely getting map control mid, and 2 go down on the side of UCD White. Zipcaster being popped and trying to extend their lead here.
Man,
oh my gosh, Kel, what is?
I think I got you here though, and this checkpoint is clear. This is a huge checkpoint grab. They break this one through. All that UCD White needs to do is just try to get members out of there, and somebody has to pick up this Rainmaker. This is all the Ink Beans. I'm not sure if popping the Rainmaker is the play you want to make though. Raven gets the trade. It's 3 down right out of the gate. Does anybody pick up this Rainmaker? Yes, they do. And now we get to see Poppy pick up this Rainmaker here. And again, UCD White needs to get painting, and not only do they need to get the first checkpoint, they need to break it again and then move maybe a few inches, but they are met with the range of X7. X7 was just playing nice on that one. And XSpaghetti is going to be a 3-0. Match points coming up here for this matchup, Hydro.
Match point, and I would imagine UCD is feeling the pressure now. They have to essentially go for a reverse sweep, but I think it is possible. A lot of these claims have been close, and it's just been a couple of deciding factors. We're going back to the replay in here, and we're seeing that this is the moment that XSpaghetti broke the checkpoint. However, UCD White expertly managing to hold it off. However, that fact may, like you said, might have been popped a little early and does get punished by XSpaghetti. And however, this was their chance, but they maybe weren't watching all of the front, all flanks, and that kind of costed them the game here, Kyon.
Yeah, and again, X7, again, when you pick up the Rainmaker, you're basically just smart. X7 is going to know where you are, and Floppy just flew a little too close to X7's range. That's just the power of the range blaster right there. X7 playing that one incredibly well. The one thing I noted, though, is you're giving UCD White a chance back by popping that Rainmaker as early as he did, which was definitely very debatable. I do agree the Ink Pack might have been just popped just a tad early, just to force the defense, but they needed to do something, basically. UCD White needed to pick up the Rainmaker to at least force OT, otherwise it would be game over on that front. So I'm gonna be curious to see how this plays out here. Last chance, but for UCD Splatoon White has happened on Robo Ramen Clan Blitz. I think you noted it earlier as well. So UCD White has shown signs of impressive improvement, and the next Betty just kind of turned it up a handful of notches there. I'd imagine this map here for UCD White probably I wouldn't be surprised if it is gonna be crazy weapon changes, but probably the constant being the range blaster. That's all I can think would be kept here.
Yeah, and Spaghetti, I think, will probably be running similar weapons, but if you were in UCD's shoes, you gotta be thinking, what kind of weapons have been working, what kind of haven't been working, and maybe play to your strengths, you know. Both teams were playing it actually quite slow, I think, for the past few games, and, you know, you gotta play to maybe your strengths more, and, you know, spotting maybe any exploitations that you could use to win against over Egg Spaghetti, and maybe look for this reverse sweep.
And this one key thing you want to note though with UCD White is one of their keys to victory that they want to focus on. They efficiently convert advantage to objective scoring. This is something that we just didn't quite see in the previous match there, where UCD Splatoon White may have just trying to find the perfect time to pick up the Rainmaker, or there was just a bit of hesitation, so they let some of that 3 down. Unfortunately, just let Xpedi get away with such maneuvers. So this is one of those cases where if you're going to be focusing on this is where it becomes even more important in clams, because you gotta get clam economy and control of the map as much as you can. For UCD White, as long as that gets cleared up, they still have a chance. Egg Spaghetti though, 1 map away, and they have looked really good so far.
1 map away, and this will really show maybe even just how close these are. Egg Spaghetti really riding high on momentum right now. You know, this could be their chance to just close out the game and basically go undefeated for most of the season. However, you know, with UCD, this is their chance to maybe swing back momentum into their favor and, you know, maybe look to continue on their win streak as well.
Yeah, and the win streak starts to matter here because again, one team is going to be set to have 1 loss in their loss column. So both teams want to necessarily avoid that mark. But the best thing that they can do is just try to win out this game, because they are in close competition with KSU Wildstarks from that same group, who are 3-1 by the way, set record wise. Wow. So a lot of things to really keep an eye on throughout how this set gets played. There are some things that just need to be addressed to be on the scenes, so we have not jumped the game quite yet. But this is a very close competition in this Division 3 Group 1 matchup. You mentioned before, Egg Spaghetti riding a crazy momentum high right now, and UCD Splatoon White, again, signs of life. Just gotta get that cleaned up.
Yeah, UCD White, definitely, they just need to find something. I'm not quite sure what they're missing yet, but I feel like they're on the grasp of something right here. Maybe it's some kind of exploit, maybe it's some kind of, you know, maybe map control they're trying to find, or maybe it's just playing a little bit faster on their advantages and playing to their weapon strengths, and maybe we'll see it in this game here, Kyon.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I'm going to be curious about here for UCD White, is if they want to change up any of the weapons to play more to the strengths of this map there. I noted earlier too, Range Blaster probably would be the choice I'd expect to see. I could be wrong. Yes, Range Blaster again on the hands of Pamperinos. That's probably what I expect from the UCD, but they're doing this one against X7 there. And here's a different flavor of the Treasure. This time it's going to be the Treasure with Chumps, the Incline one for this one. And this is actually a really solid choice there with Chumps there. At least it provides a little bit of a distraction tactic, if you will. Just trying to confuse the other team with the jumps there with where that varies place. So I actually don't mind this flexible change on both sides. Well, on the side of Egg Spaghetti, excuse me, both teams kind of just picking up clans right now. Gonna be waiting to see who will get the first push.
UCD White also opting for, again, we've been seeing a lot of comp changes by them, but also opting for a Wiper, which is an interesting aggressive pick. But, you know, let's see how they work, because Hammer can be very effective in, you know, controlling these choke points, and we're just seeing a bunch of trades right now. X7 getting control of mid, however, losing it right back to Foppy, and we're just trading back and forth here. However, I think UCD White is currently in the lead here in map control, and using specials to continue that lead. Again, X7 managing to try to find a pick and not quite finding it. Calico Cat going down as well, getting a trade, however, so it's still not over yet for either team yet.
Yeah, both teams just stuck into this neutral position, just waiting to find any sort of control, any sort of claims that they can build up towards that first push. And the fact that they're still just trading is effectively mean, hey, we're just stuck into this neutral phase, just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. The thing you want to keep an eye on for Spaghetti is that Trizuka, that they do have that available from Opticali if they can take advantage of it. Opticali also spawned a power clam of their own. It's gonna be a matter of time before I imagine that Trizuka gets popped and see if they can find a few members of UCD White, which could be nope, not popping it just yet. Chumps being used. Other thing I want to note though is Spaghetti with the Tri-Slosher Duvel. That's their cooler option on top of it. As well, 2 members have gone down. UCD White at least been able to hold successfully. It's a delayed 3, but no power clam just yet. But they take out Bobby. This should be total map control now.
Map control goes on the side of UCD, and Hammer goes in. That's what I was talking about. Those choke points, however, does go down to Octocali. And I think since no follow-up was managed, it goes back to neutral here. However, you know, specials are being built up on both sides, and we're just going back to trades here, Clown. I think, however, 3 go down on the side of Spaghetti, and maybe this is their chance of UCD to push here.
Yeah, Flopsy may, however, deter that baby by a handful of seconds there with a nice little pick on that tri-stringer. So again, with UCD White playing this one very methodically, it's methodically and slow. They're giving Spaghetti enough time to just try to fight back. But I want to see if Nightblue can take advantage of this Ultra Slam. The answer is no in this scenario. But this might be enough space for Jim to push up. No, not quite yet. Still waiting for it. The Blue Bomb's gonna be the one that will be used. There, Blue Bomb provides a smoke screen, but shot down. Jim can't move up just yet. And this power clam should be entering the void here shortly, and no one's able to get it. Hydra, I can't believe I'm saying this. We are stuck in a neutral position for about 3 minutes.
3 minutes in, and yeah, I think especially Calcacat, was expertly holding that. You know, you mentioned that smoke screen, but I think with the AoE of the Tri-Slosher, it kind of just negated the smoke screen effect, and, you know, they didn't have to look out and know where the clam was, so they just kind of fired towards it. However, we're going back to trading, back to neutral. Again, no score on either side yet. Jim trying to find an opening here, and not quite finding anything yet. Like, they're both just building specials, both trying to find a pick, and does get a pick right here on Spaghetti, but, you know, they're not converting anything yet, just yet. However, they are slowly moving map control forward here, Kellen.
Yeah, they're slowly getting some map control, and they're using the Blue Bomb to just try to get things set up along with the Ultra Slam, which, by the way, just got used. But the same problem is they're using the Ultra Slam as one step to paint out a path. Then they're coordinating up with the Blue Bomb. Anytime this push gets stalled, that push they will not get any points in. But Jim in this case gets a one and done push because they were able to sneak that one through. But that's all it is. The most important thing for them though is that it's points on the board. The bad news is that it's a free power clam. Okay, I take that back. They are able to get 4 more clams, and I knew I had to speak words, and they were able to get just enough yet. But they have 3 down. They can't push up anymore. That one push may be all they need for UCD White, but the big thing they need to do is hold on defense.
Holding on to the fence, and, you know, they're working together here. Nightbloom managing to find a pick here, and, you know, I think they're trying to dismantle Spaghetti aggressiveness here, but, you know, Spaghetti just retaliating back. While UCD White has map control here, they're gonna try to find some openings and some picks, like finding the pick on the range blaster here. You know, Pamperino especially holding, finding a lot of map control here with this range blaster, and comboing with this Booyah Bomb, and doesn't quite find a pick yet. Cone, what are we expecting from both teams now?
10, I mean, the big thing that really UCD White just needs to do is hold on fence, but they also cannot afford to go down. That's the critical thing. 2 power clams is enough for the lead change. They just cannot afford to lose members at that point in time. They're able to sneak 1 push in, I believe, yes. But that second power clam is just the key thing to this one. Octocali has been spotted, though, with that sensor. That sensor was just enough to know where they were, and X7's jump is leading to immediate doom, and UCD White was able to win this one after all. It's a 3-1 set for Spaghetti. The set is extended here, Hydro.
They are still in the game. You know, no full sweep, but we might see a reverse sweep on the side of UCD White. However, they actually do need to reverse sweep here in order to, you know, get this win here. However, I think both teams played it really well, and I actually want to highlight Pamperino a little bit, because Pamperino actually, during that final push, actually on UCD's White's push, you know, actually held held quite a bit of space, so that the teammates can actually get those couple clams in. So, you know, if they hadn't held that position for so long, you know, this might have actually been quite a tie game. And, you know, we're seeing the replay here, you know, Floppy just getting 1 clam in, however, UCD White showing a great display of defense here and stopping Octocali's push as well.
Octocali, I'm gonna admit here, I think XPGetti was trying to go for a sneaky push because they knew where that power clam was. If the rest of UCD White moved up just a little too much, Octocali was gonna probably swim up, pick up the power clam, and get the sneaky push in that way. Because of the point sensor that was literally thrown within that direction, they knew where Octocali was. At that point, Octocali was spotted. Octocali had to move up right out of the gate, and they just got spotted. And X7's just jump was just gonna get punished there. So that point sensor was in a great location. Granted in that scenario, it's an 80. The final score, of course, was 80 points remaining, 68 points remaining. Favor UCD White, but they got to do this 3 more times. Barnacle and Dime Zones is going to be a very Trisuka friendly map. They should be expecting this coming out of XPGetti here. This is your time to still plot all the stops. Still alive in the set here, coming in the game 6 or no, yeah, game 5. Correction.
Game 5, yeah. Game 5.
I knew my numbers were wrong.
Yeah, game 5 here, and again, I think we're gonna see a lot of comp changes on UCD White, and maybe 1 or 2 changes on XPGetti here, Keon.
That's what I'm going to be wondering about here. I don't imagine the range blaster come back, but hey, they might have found some success from that side. They're going to keep it, actually. No surprise on this one. Now, because they played zones earlier, they're going to try to play something very similar to what they played in game one, but this time it's instead of Mahi, it's going to be on Barnacle and Dime, which this actually tends to favor the Crab and a lot more range here on the side of UCD White. On the other side, instead of a Tri-Slosher Nouveau, they're just switching to the regular Tri-Slosher, so there is your Mist Inkjet combo to boot, as we do see the first capture there for XPGetti. This should be neutralized here in just a bit. Chump's just being dished out here just for a bit of distraction, if anything. But it's really going to boil down to is who's going to win on some of these fights. Range Blasters, by the way, gone down. Duel is going to go down. Lead change should be coming up here for XPGetti. Now we got to see who retains it more.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get some map control. And while Pamperino's just poking out this plat here, actually, and the Tri-Slosher does go down. But I do want to mention that XPGetti does have a very AoE and chip comp, actually. With Chomps and Tri-Stringer providing a bit of AoE, Range Blaster being, the AoE weapon, Izuka Tri-Slosher being really good at AoE, and Chip on that Guga Dualies. However, let's see if XPGetti can even use that advantage, as UCD White is definitely holding them back. Again, you did mention that we're seeing a lot of same comp on UCD White as the initial zones game. However, I think it is working really well for them here, as 38 points left on the clock here. They could honestly look for a knockout here if XPGetti doesn't find a way to retaliate here, Keon.
Yeah, the question is how are they going to retaliate here? Are they going to just paint over the zone as much as they can, and UCD is going to forfeit it, or are they just going to say, all right, we're gonna see if we can play this one a little bit more methodically, just wait for these specials to be built. They're going to be okay getting the penalty points. Their dualies have gone down. That's a nice little pick there. And this wave bomb kind of just used to disperse everybody else. But they're going down one by one, and the last thing you want to do to your UCD White is to pretty much give up some of that advantage that you just had. You're giving XPGetti a lot of chance to come back here and assert control of that zone. There's Calcacat, by the way, with the Inkjet. See if they can find some value. No, not quite yet, but XPGetti is retaining control of the zone. They're at 50 punch range. They're trying to approach it to 24.
Flopsy taking a very aggressive angle for a backline, finding some chip damage, hopefully, and, XPGetti just actually locking him out quite a lot. However, UCD White does have control over the plat, so it's not quite over. Crab is being popped by Nightbloom, and seeing if they can find the map control and find some picks here. Floppy following up that Crab and does get a trade here, and I think we're just trying to fight back neutral here. XPGetti, managing to get a trade once more, and Nightbloom getting that pick up there and getting map control once again, and seeing if they can control the enemy plat here, Keon.
The one constant that XPGetti has had is that X7 has just been going off right now with that range blaster. That is just a very frightening range blaster. You have to respect each go-round, so I imagine a lot of focus is going to be put onto them. Both range blasters are going to be down. The Trisuka isn't enough to paint over the zone. Yes, they've gone 2 down by it looks of things, but they're going to be able to retain zone and get the lead back, but they are losing members left and right. There should be a zone split for sure. So now, XPGetti, let's see if they can retain zones in their favor here. 152 is left on the clock. And with no special available, Nightbloom correction is able to use that Crab just to force neutral at the very least. Now they just got to move up to take out XM, which they did just that. Nightbloom, though, still have to escape. They're still respecting XPGetti as much as they can, but How long are they going to continue to respect them until they wait for the right moment? And that's Nightbloom already getting 2. And all they need to do is take out X7, which X7 does go down with the assist of their team. And that will be UCD White getting the zones back. More penalty points applied for X Spaghetti, and they just need to retain this control for as long as they can.
Nightbloom, very, very patient, actually. You know, you could see that Nightbloom may have saw all the enemies, but, you know, waited for their team to follow up. However, you know, Crab is being popped and pushing X Spaghetti back. And this could be the thing that UCD White needed. Nightbloom fighting X7 here. This might be the matchup. And both go down.
Oh,
and,
no.
Oh, this might be it. Hold on. UCD White is just finding control. Is just flopsing, trying to get, you know, map control here. But I think that would be it. Okay, wow. UCD White bringing this game to a 2-3.
Yeah, UCD White, they figured the recipe for success, not only winning the fights that they needed to do, is to neutralize X7, and then the rest of the follow-up just cannot seem to move up just enough. And I was wondering if the Trizuka was going to get value, which it has not felt like they've gotten much other than neutralizing out a Crab, and that Crab tank was just a problem in terms of zones control for as much as possible here. As you can see, one point of the replay here with some of the points that are still taken out. This is the one I was wondering about, was Nightbloom did a great job with the neutralize. And we're going to be seeing what will be Nightbloom's pop-off that allowed UCD White to just retain control as much as he can. X7 cannot... Nightbloom just surprise sneak onto X7. And I wonder how the rest of this fight goes. They do take out the Tri-Slosher there on that side. Nightbloom paints over to the right. Yes, Octocali was there. They spot Octocali. They know where Flopsy is, but as Flopsy moves themselves up and delayed, and those picks were enough to seal it. And the assist from Foppy to get X7 out of there. Resty needed to respond. XBD tried to do everything to move up and try to force the neutral or force the zones back. But what we saw there was indeed a KO. And we are going to now actually game 6 being Hagglefish Tower Control, where the second checkpoint could be a problem.
Yeah, even though last game was a KO, I think it was still really close. Either side could have taken it, but I think UCD White just, you know, playing to their game, playing patiently, waiting for their advantage, you know, and playing together. Actually, they played together quite well that game, and you know, Xperia couldn't just couldn't respond to it as well as they wish they may have. They wish they could have, and you know, UCD just running at the end there. However, do you think we may see that again in Tower Control Hagglefish?
That depends, ultimately, is you don't get caught into the vision of UCD White. They've done a great job surprising Egg Spaghetti. Again, a lot of focus on spotting any holes in the other team's vision. Those Nightbloom picks were enough to extend the lead, as they could not, as Nightbloom just snuck up on them and said hello, goodbye, and called it a day. So I want to see a little bit of adjustment there. Egg Spaghetti, they had such great momentum, but UCD White's now starting to swing in their favor. They just got to win this one to force a game 7, which this will be a lot of fun to watch. And I mentioned before at the top, this has been a very close matchup. Is that Luna Blaster going to be it, though? I think they also switched to Emperors on top of it, too. Yes, they did. Trip Splashdowns, and now we got Dueling Tri-Stringers. Words I don't think I ever have to say in this game.
Dueling Tri-Stringers. It's rare to see even one, but, you know, we're seeing 2 this game, and it's going to be interesting to see how both teams play off their advantage. Both teams have found a kind of style that they've been finding. You know, Egg Spaghetti maybe playing off picks more, and while UCD White playing off more team fights here. However, we may see what happens when both styles clash together, when running similar-ish comps. We're actually seeing that Luna, by the way, again, on the side of UCD White, and seeing maybe they did find quite a bit of success in that Tower Control game earlier, and maybe they're trying to recreate that success again here, Kyo.
Well, and the crazy thing, too, is I don't even think it's the Luna Blaster. It's just the way the team's been playing at a different level. This is not even the same UCD White here at all. They're just finding picks. They're just moving up with a purpose there, as Floppy gets a handful with that Luna Blaster. This for sure will be the first checkpoint. And now the rest of X-Men is just moving too far up, just trying to force any advantages. X7 going down on top of it. Trizuka, well respected, but they did take out one. No matter what, it's the first checkpoint, but now they don't have the advantage anymore. I believe they're just gonna focus on just trying to see if they can extend this advantage of where this tower stands. That's a great first punch there, but that's only step 1. UCD White needs to keep this up for 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Jim definitely stalling for time for the team to come back in, and Octocali punishing that right here. Octocali just fighting it out, and Octocali does come out on top, but does get traded out by Floppy, so not too bad on either side right now. Both teams just kind of build special and poking out each other. You know, finding some control here. X7 finding Night Blue here, but Fabi comes to the rescue with the Zipcaster and manages to get X7 here. Octocali trying to see if they could maybe trade it out, but doesn't quite, only gets the mark here. Night Blue moving forward with the end parry and does get the triple splashdown. However, no trades on the side of Egg Spaghetti here, Keon.
Yeah, but Egg Spaghetti may have taken enough members to at least get the push start on their own. And UCD White, I imagine their focus is just X7 is a problem. Focus X7 on top of it, and this is exactly why X7 is just trying to run with their advantages as much as they can. They flew just a little too close though, but they built enough space for this first checkpoint to be cleared, and now both teams cleared the first checkpoint. Their Jim going on a 1v3 mission and flies a little too close. Raven flies too close to Floppy on that regard, but all that X7 needs to do is just ride this tower out. For sure the lead is going to be swapped there. They get the jumps in, and UCD White, this is what I'm wondering is if this methodical approach might be a bit much here, and allowing the X-Blade to come back. They did take out 2. It's just 44 points remaining. I mentioned before the second checkpoint is very difficult to work around, but this is a very aggressive X-Spaghetti now. They don't want to. They want to end this set eventually. Coming up here soon.
2 minutes left on the clock, and I don't think it's out for any team yet. However, finding a pick on the Trizuka. Oh, 2 go down on the side of White. This might be what X-Spaghetti needed to close out the game here. Raven just trying to get Zipcaster and comboing specials here, allowing maybe their lead to be further up. Octocali finding a nice positioning over on this right side for them. Raven also following up as well, and Floppy just holding this tower here. They're gonna get quite a bit more points in here, and takes down the 30 points.
Yeah, but the important thing is that the second checkpoint was cleared, and that's always a tough checkpoint to maneuver on. This will give them a lot of spacing there, and this usually would be words where I would say it's the X7 show. Raven has been running amok on UCD White's end with the Octobrush. They have 1:20 left to go. They have to win on some of these fights there. Triple splashdown will take 2. They do go down for their efforts. Jim pops the cooler into the tower range. Everybody's gonna have to run and pick that one up as much as they can, but the members are getting staggered left and right. Now UCD White's just all over the board. They gotta stay disciplined, stay together at this point there. The more the staggers do happen, it's gonna favor Egg Spaghetti. Yes, Egg Spaghetti loses 2. They're gonna be happy with that every time.
Egg Spaghetti definitely going to be more content with these trades, but however, I don't think UCD is giving up map positioning. Like, they're taking the trades, but they're still gaining map positioning here, and maybe this is what Egg Spaghetti needed to find this opening, and does punish that aggression that they had, and now finally getting picks here, and just getting back this map control in mid here, Keon.
Yeah, now you're about 30 seconds left to go. UCD White needs to find what has worked out so well for them, but they also have to respect the 2 upcoming specials. If the Zap goes down, they did pop cooler here in the respawn, and I don't even think the Zap picked up their own cooler either, so these are going to be some slightly long respawn timers for that Zap. They got to get everybody in there right now. They got to win out this fight. X7 is going to be the one that goes out right out of the gate. Triple splash on being used, but they take out Octocali, who had the Trizuka ready to go. It's 2 members out right away. Lobsy the one that's defending on that 10. They have to ride this tower, but they're riding too close to the killer whale. Raven just needs to be the one to touch the tower, and after dropping the last 2 maps here, Hydro, Egg Spaghetti finally takes this one home. They win the set 4-2.
4-2, but I think it was really close. You know, both teams, their scores were actually really close, within like 10-ish points of each other. However, I think, you know, with the team play that Egg Spaghetti had, you know, and maybe some planning prior, Flopsy actually near the end had a killer whale ready, and, you know, just stalled it out and made it so that teammates could take that tower at the very end. However, I think, you know, all their both teams had very star moments at this. And I'm glad that we got to see them here today, Keon.
I was wondering if UCD White was about to pull. I'll be honest. I was wondering and hoping if UCD White were going to pull this one off. Hoping for the sense of the spectators there. I really love a Game 7, but the Egg Spaghetti was like, no, we don't want to be dealing with this anymore. You did lose 2. But again, the great discipline by the way, holding on to the whale because they knew that UCD White had to be the one to touch the tower at any given moment. Just pop, it's almost GG whales almost effectively there, just getting everybody out of there from UCD White's end, and that's all that XP needed to do. I was a little concerned because they were neutralized for a good chunk of the last 2 games with X7 no longer being a factor, but the rest of the team stepped up again. Raven doing their part with the Octobrush to win out some of those fights, and we got to see a 4-2 set in favor of Egg Spaghetti. They improved to 4-0. UCD White's going to go 2-1. Hydro, though, CCA Tradition's about to kick in, I think.
And although we're not playing on Turf War, we are going to be playing Humpback Humpcheck Rainmaker. So final game 7, this is going to be essentially for kind of fun, but also maybe to like a mini scrim here. This is the game 7 for us, so we're going to see any last chance to maybe pull out a nice little little surprise for us. And maybe UCD White might just pull out a little surprise for us, as they have been playing a bunch of different weapons here today, Keon.
Yeah, I can only imagine that this is just scrim, just the best of one scrim. Who will win the unofficial game 7 here? I've seen approaches here, either just memes for days, or it's just gonna be scrims for days here. So both teams, I imagine, will be approaching this very differently here. So while we are waiting for this one, oh sorry, I just had to take a moment there, but yeah, well while we are waiting for that one, Again, both teams played this one very well. You mentioned before, very close between the two teams. It really just boiled down to who was going to be the one to get the advantages first throughout that set. And Egg Spaghetti, I was wondering again, same deal. Wondering if they may have lost it a bit. They recovered very nicely in that game 6. So we get to see the game 7. See, I want to be curious to see what kind of approaches they want to do here.
Yeah, I think with Rainmaker, this is very frontline heavy. So I think we're going to see, again, both sides pop off, and we're seeing Wishy-Washy on this sniper. Is that a big swing? Did I just see a big here, Quion?
Yes, it is! It's the big swing with Rainstorm, and there's the Reef Slider. It just came in an unofficial Game 7. Well, they hit their 1 point to the keys to victory here, Hydro.
Yeah, is that 2 Reef Sliders? Is that 1? You're going to have to remind me here. Is that 2 Reef Sliders on there? Okay, wow. We noticed in the keys of victory that Egg Spaghetti really mentioned Reef Slider, and so in this game 7 we're gonna see double Reef Slider here. UCD White already getting map control of this mid area. However, Octo Cali is just flanking here. This is pandemonium for a game 7 here, Cone.
Yeah, but for this game 7, now I want to see if Egg Spaghetti can stay true to your keys of riding the Reef Slider victory. They might be able to. The Reef Slider has been getting value, so I'll give them a lot of credit for this one. X7 is going to be the one to pick up this Rainmaker, by the way, which they're just firing a few shots. They're just waiting for the right time to put ink on that turf. Actually, it's even a pick per se. As it's 3 down, and now this is where the snowball could get out of control. Bobby needs to be the one to hold on to this rebound and hold this one with discipline. They should be able to distract, throw off everybody else out of there. X7 goes down with the Dreadbringer. And this is a push that will keep on going for Egg Spaghetti here unless Pemberton has other things to say, which they will. And the Rainmaker gets struck for 42 points remaining.
It was looking really scary for UCD, but, I think they managed to pull off the defense here and not allow Egg Spaghetti to get so many points on the board. This is still very winnable for UCD, but, they gotta find some kind of push here. But first, they have to break this checkpoint. Bobby and Pepperino just already moving in, but does get spotted by the Reef Slider. And, we're just seeing trains back and forth here. However, it's just going to be the tri-stringer on the side of Egg Spaghetti, and that checkpoint is going to be broken here, Keon.
There is no way that we would have a set where both teams would just get snowballs one after the other. The pendulum swings in both directions. We totally just did. That's UCD White, by the way, getting the lead back once more. Only in a game 7, when it's not going to count for the stats, would we see something like this there. Now I need to see the words I'm going to have to say here if the Reef Slider does get value. The Reef Slider has been getting some crazy value for Egg Spaghetti there. Either running up the squid over or winning it out at the end of the radius. I need to see if they can continue to find that magic back. Both teams have cleared out a checkpoint so far, though. Flopsy is the one that will carry this Rainmaker. There's still pain being dished out there. Otkali, of course, using the Reef Slider to victory. Actually able to take out the sniper, I'm pretty sure. And now we get to see Egg Spaghetti possibly get the lead, is what I was about to say there, before they drop the Rainmaker.
This Reef Slider just go all the way to the Rainmaker, does get the pop, however, does go down. This big swing also putting in work. Both teams may be playing unconventional weapons, but they're playing hard this game 7. They're not letting the other one have any, giving an inch to any and to either side. And the Rainmaker is going to be reset back to mid, and with UCD with map control here. The Reef Slider gets popped again. Both sides are just fighting it out. Both sides are popping specials. Both are just fighting it out here. Both are just going down. What is happening, Code?
Well, let's say that it's been a battle around neutral. Nobody's really moving an inch, and the Rainmaker's just kind of stuck in its reset position each go around. Again, and they're just trying to find some of the fights, or even or find any advantages that they can have. They take out 2 or 3, and they're like, all right, this is the goal line. We're just going to go. But UCD, they'll take a few extra seconds. Now they have to realize that there will be a reslider from X7 that will take out the sniper, who was holding the Rainmaker the entire time. And this is where Expeditions are running the crazy surprise Reef Slider tactics to succession here. Rainmaker's been stuck in this path. So far, Expedition has not gotten the lead just yet. I'm waiting for that moment to happen when the Reef Slider builds it up for them. Minute and 10 left to go on the clock. A lot of crazy things are happening here, Hydro.
Yeah, and the lead swap was pretty interesting, and now we're just seeing actually maybe that UCD maybe trying to continue this lead. Wishy-washy just holding it and making sure that no Reef Sliders are going to get behind them this time. However, I think they are starting to lose a little bit of map control. Octocali finding a pick on Pamperino and continuing with their lead. Hold on, this might be what X-Spaghetti needed. They might just put... Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Egg Spaghetti is exactly what they might be looking for. The Reef Slider has gotten a couple more, plus with their main weapon finds value. Now you just gotta pressure them out of there. Wishy-washy just don't want to fly too close to that ledge there, buddy. As Flopsy is able to move right up just ahead, but is gonna be found by the Sniper, and that Rainmaker is stuck in its bubble once more. Gonna be waiting for that Reef Slider to be dished out there, but the Booty Bomb is gonna have other ideas that will take out your Tri-Slosher DeVoe. And we'll see if Octocali is able to use that restart, which is able to flip the Rainmaker barrier the other direction. And now X7 uses the Rain Slider, and the lead has been changed.
The Re-Slider's actually coming in clutch. First to pop the Rainmaker shield and keep it in their color. Second one to create a path for X-Spaghetti to continue getting that lead. And now, Pamperino trying to find a pick here, but no, X-Spaghetti does pick up the Rainmaker in the end. And Game 7 going to X-Spaghetti here, Keon.
The winner tonight is the Reef Sliders, everybody. If you thought you could never be afraid of Reef Sliders, let's say X-Spaghetti may have found a strategy to use Reef Sliders in an actual comp game. Take that as you will, everybody. But that was a lot of fun. They did ride the Reef Slider victory. It just took the last push for that to work. And this is the one I was waiting on in this replay here. Was X7 barely dodged the Booty Bomb. I think they built it special there. No, it was Octocali, correction, that had the special. It would be the follow-up Reef Slider that I'm thinking of. Octocali uses the Reef Slider to flip the Rainmaker barrier the other direction. And here's X7 with the Reef Slider that clears out the path to for sure get the lead. And they were able to win out the fights anyway, with UCD kind of just panicking in. So the winner today, as I've learned in this Game 7, is Reef Slider is cool. GG, well played.
Reef Slider is indeed cool, but, I think both teams played exceptionally well today. It was really close, and both teams should be very proud. However, X-Spaghetti now continuing their win streak to a 4-0 for the season currently.
Yeah, and UCD Splatoon will drop to 2-1 again. A very, very tight finish that we could be seeing out of Division 3 Group 1 with 3 teams kind of with top 3, including KSU Wild Sharks. It won't drop UCD Splatoon 1 in the standings just yet. That's just something to keep in mind as we do get to see our resident producer Vapor here rolling the formidable Killer Whale 5.1 user title. You know what? That is very fitting for the Tri-Strikes we have seen today. So only coincidences work. That being said, that will conclude this match coverage here. Hydro, do you have anything to plug before we cut to break?
I do not have anything to plug, but do watch out for the upcoming games because I think Long Beach Gold will also be there. So be sure to tune in for that. And Keon, do you have anything to plug?
No, not just yet, because spoilers. I'll be back with you guys in the next set, so you'll get to hear me later on. But we'll wrap it up here. We'll cut the break, get the next matchup ready to go with Hydro. I'm Keon saying that is our coverage for Game 1. Game 2 will be coming up here shortly. You don't want to miss a thing.